Hello, today we're going to do a quick run through on the MCAS 2.0 Teacher Control Panel from Pearson MCAS. You should already have a username and password that was sent to you from Pearson. This is for the training system, which is brown. The live system will be blue. We're going to log in. Use your username and password as you set up from your welcome email. And again, you'll see this is brown and we're in the right testing area for grades 10. So you go to testing, students in session. You see your session list is blank. You click add on session. You'll be given the name of your session to work with. You start typing the name, check the checkbox, and add selected. And now you can see that we have students in a test. And you also see that this test hasn't been prepared. You already will have your test tickets, but if you needed to, you could always refer to that link that I was just shown, that you can see the testing tickets right there, but we'll skip out of there. You'll see that this test is not prepared. So the first thing to do is, before we even start, we must hit prepare test. This will take sometimes a few seconds to a couple of minutes. For the sake of time, I've cut this out, and now you'll see that it's ready and prepared. You can see our student lists, but we haven't actually started the testing session yet. So now when we click the start session, now you'll see that our test is made up of 3 components, 3 sessions, and you can see that right now, because all of these are locked, the students cannot go anywhere. You see that these are locked. Hit refresh. So the student cannot go anywhere until you unlock the session. We will do 1 session a day, so you only unlock the session that we're working on for that day. Unlocking the session now makes it active for the student, and now you can see that now they have a start with that blue button, and they can start to take their test. As students enter into their test, you'll start to see updated statuses on this board. You can see now that 1 student is in the test and 1 student isn't. You can also see information about where the student is on the test by clicking on there and being able to scroll through. You can see right now that they haven't entered or looked at any questions, but by hitting the refresh button, now you can see that the students answered 1 and read through 2. And this way you can keep a track of where your students are during the test. If you see somebody skipping through too quickly, you can always remind the class that this is an important test. You can also lock the test and resume if something happens. And here are the different statuses for the colors you may see. With any luck, you'll really see only 1 or 2 of these statuses. But if something does happen where a student's iPad battery dies and they have to get a new iPad to start up with, you may see it in stopped or ended, and then you can restart their exam by going to that drop-down button next to their status. You can see now that this test has been completed because it's blue. They've made it through all the way through section 1 of the test. If this was the real MCAS, we would only be giving 1 session at a time, and so you would lock that session once all students were complete. You cannot end the session, you can see, because it says you have sessions that haven't begun, and that's on purpose. So you would lock the session, and now testing is done for the day. You can see students cannot go on to session 2, and they can no longer see session 1 anymore. You sign out. The next day you come back, sign back in, go back to testing, students in session, find your session, start typing again, select it, and now you can resume exactly where you left off the day before, but now we're doing section 2. We unlock section 2, and now the students will begin to do their section 2 test on their iPads. You see a student is in the process of doing it. Again, we can see where they are, their status in the test. Now we can see that our student is done with the test. And there's a questionnaire at the end of this particular test, so you would follow up if there's a questionnaire in the real one. Now you see here, it wouldn't let me open up the questionnaire because I already had one section open. You can only have one section open at a time. So now I'll open up the questionnaire. Students will finish the questionnaire from DESE at the end. And now the student's complete. You'll see they have one student complete and one student that's not complete. In the back end, Katie or I will look for students that were not in your sections and will move them out. Also, if students need extra time, you can close their session and we will move them to other sessions. You're unable to stop testing if you have somebody who hasn't completed the test. So we will remove students that haven't finished the test. You can see here that now that it's been removed, you only have one student. Everybody has completed the test, and now we'll be able to stop the session. Now that the session is complete, everything is done, and we finished administering the MCAS, and we can sign out.